Hello everyone, today we are looking at one of these. Now you might remember last month I did a video about this bad boy. This is a Nokia 5.1 Orange out of the UK. Today we're actually looking at the predecessor to that phone, which is what this is. This is a Nokia 2140. You may think that it resembles one of these in the background. You're right. The Nokia 2100 series phones were all sort of similar in shape and size, just slight variations in terms of keypad layout. In fact, this is also known, I think, as a 2162. If I remember correctly. Even the Nokia 5.1 Orange is a 2100 series phone because it's got the same shape, same sort of keypad layout. Well, the keypad's marginally different to some of these, but anyway, the 2140 was the very first GSM1800 variant of the 2100 series phone. So if you're lucky to be in the UK at the time, and you joined Orange when they first launched, you got yourself one of these. This is a 2140. This is actually the first batch of 2140s, and this is the box for one of those. If you joined them after 1995 or in 1995 onwards, you got one of these instead. This is a smaller box 2140. This is also a 2140. And does this have a sticker saying it's a 2140? I'm not even sure. Doesn't look like it, no. But this is all original because I've had this since the original days. So, but let's take a look inside. So, right off the bat, you got this opened up like a little bit of a storybook. You got. This is how you're supposed to open it up, like so. Ignore this sticker. This is just for my reference. You got obviously the phone. This is my own personal one because it's got a cord on it. I put cords on all my phones back in those days because these were expensive. I paid an arm and a leg for these. Back then, I think I paid £300 for one of these. And £300 today is not a lot. But if you think this was in 1994, £300 in 1994 money is quite a lot of money. Certainly back then for me, at that age, it was an awful lot of money to shell out on a cell phone. So, and obviously, not just one, but as you can clearly see, quite a few. So this is the original 2140. This is used, obviously. The screen's got a few scratches, but I'm hoping this will power on. If not, I got a brand new one there. What else you got in the box then? So you open up the box, there's a little flip there, like so, and you open that up, and surprise, surprise, you got, yes, a cassette tape. Because back in those days, cassette tapes were all the rage. If you guys don't know what this is, and you're quite young, ask your parents. This is the predecessor to CDs. I did actually. I was using my my MR601 in town, and I was waiting in line in a store, and I made a call on one of these, and I pulled out the antenna, and the little girl with her mom behind me said, "What's that thing on the phone?" And I said, "What do you mean?" And I thought she was talking about the flip. No, she was talking about this, the stick thing. She said, "What's the stick thing on your phone?" And I said to her, "It's an antenna." She had absolutely no concept of what the antenna was. So back in those days, cassette tapes were all the rage. If you're from an era where you don't have antennas on cell phones, you're probably not of an era where we had cassette tapes. So this was basically an audio manual. If you were too lazy or weren't bothered about reading the actual paper manual, you could just listen to the cassette tape, and that was that. And this is quite a short tape. You can tell there's not much tape on there. It is all original. It is all Nokia, Orange Nokia. And it looks like it's actually one-sided as well. So, real neat feature that I thought. Certainly you don't get CDs nowadays with any phone that I'm aware of. Certainly not modern ones anyway. But anyway, so let's take a look what else you got in the box. You got obviously the welcome manual. You got an insurance warranty detail pamphlet thing. The good thing about Orange back in those days was it was all included in the price plan. In the amount you pay the line rental every month, it was all included. Free insurance, free itemized billing, a whole bunch of other stuff which I don't remember. So you got a price guide, so you knew exactly how much money they were going to stitch you up by for placing calls. And Orange was legendary because back in those days, none of the other cell phone providers, with the exception of Mercury 1-to-1 at the time, they cottoned on to the fact real quick, but no other providers offered inclusive minutes as bundle in terms of your airtime allowance. Picture this concept: you buy the cell phone for a few $100 or a few £100, and then you sign up to a contract because there was no prepay back then, and you basically you make a call and you get billed for that call in terms of money. So you make a 1 minute call, it might cost you 50 pence or 50 cents. And any calls you make throughout the month, you will get an itemized bill for him, and every call will cost you money. There is no inclusive bundled minutes up until when they launched this phone and their new range of tariffs. So Orange were legendary because they included a certain small allowance of airtime in the monthly line rental. And these price plans these tariffs were called, I think, Talk. Where did I just say? Talk 15, or actually it was in here, wasn't it? Talk 15, Talk 60, I had Talk 200, I think it was. Yeah. So Talk 15 obviously gave you 15 inclusive minutes every month. Hello, that's one phone call for me. And the monthly charge for that was £15. Any calls over the 15 minutes, you'd obviously get charged peak and off peak. And they had different rates for different things. So Orange to Orange, so within the same cellular network. So that's like if you phone from Verizon to Verizon, for example, or AT&T to AT&T, you'd pay a reduced rate. If you've called Verizon to AT&T, for example, you'd pay the higher rate, which was 25 pence or cents peak, which was I think like 9 to 6 or 9 to 8 in the evening. Any time outside of that, which included weekends all day, was that. And obviously that decreased as the more money you spent. So say your line rental was £50 or $50 a month, you'd obviously get more minutes, and the per minute over the bundle would obviously be cheaper. Nowadays we take, everybody takes things for granted nowadays, where everybody has inclusive minutes. Certainly I've had inclusive minutes always, I think, because I was on these tariffs. But nowadays I've got unlimited minutes, unlimited text, and I think I don't even want to know how many gigabytes of data, but I know it's more than 6 on one phone alone. So it's more than what I would ever actually need. So real old school tariffs these. But so anyway, I ramble. So but you get the idea. You got a leather case, which I don't think this is actually the original. Well, it might be the original, but it's not an Orange badge one. This is obviously a third-party one. And you got obviously the battery. This is the original NMP. They were all branded NMP at the time. God knows why. I think Nokia just had a bulk deal with them. So, like I said, this is the earlier version of the 2140. Now let's take a look at the later version of the 2140. We put this guy away. Oh, and by the way, if you were on Mercury 1-to-1 at the time, this was their equivalent. I'm going to do a video about this particular phone as well. This was their equivalent to the 2140. This was a 2146, I think. I think that's what it's called. Yeah, because I do actually have the manual for this. This is also a 2100 series phone. And I will look at this. This is the Mercury 1-to-1 equivalent. This is also GSM1800, as is the 2140. The layout slightly different. This actually looks a lot uglier than any of those phones, to be fair, because I don't know, they kind of messed with the button layout. Well, just the design of it. I don't think this is a nice phone. But it does take the SIM card. SIM card goes right there, and is DCS, so it's basically a GSM1800. I will do a video on this. Oh, the charger's missing. I will do a video on this at a later stage, because there is also a lot to talk about this. But just in case you're thinking that I might have left Mercury 1-to-1 out, I do actually have the Mercury 1-to-1 version as well. But anyway, so this is the ladder 2140. This is probably the more common ones, because the original, which they launched with, not many of those survived. Certainly not many box ones. This is probably what you'll see more common. So, but anyway, I've got phone new, never used, battery used, charger used. So I've got two in here actually, by the looks of it. So these are, one of them's used. I don't know which one's used. This one potentially could be used, although this actually looks in remarkable condition. This one doesn't look used at all. Actually, yeah, this one is used because it's got a few scratches there. This one is completely new. And this is the old style one with the old SIM holder. I don't know if you guys remember. I explained that when I did the video on this phone. But this is the old SIM holder, and this is the new style SIM holder. So this is a more up-to-date phone than this. So I think this is the original out of this box, and the other one is the more up-to-date version. So I'm going to fire this up because I don't know if this will even work with current SIM cards. But the date on this, Thursday, 5th November 1998, I wrote this. So yeah, basically, it's got a bunch of information there, the serial numbers and everything. Interesting. But yeah, interesting that these are matching serial numbers, 382, 381. Very interesting. But anyway, so you got obviously the charger. I don't have a manual in this one. Obviously it's in the other one. So let's power this one up. I'm going to steal the battery off this guy, purely because I had this guy on charge. And actually we need to put a SIM in there. So let's throw the SIM in quick. And this is the beauty about these SIMs. You can just fill your nail under there, pop the SIM in, put this guy right in like so. Make sure he's locked into place. Close that up, slap the battery on, and with a bit of luck, I'll tell you what, I'm going to peel this off, purely because it's in the way. Now the power button on these is on the side, on the original 2110. I'm going to put the charger on. The original 2110, it was obviously at the top right here. These were just the two volume buttons. So basically, this is a good sign. It's charging. I'm hoping this powers on. This has got the pull-out antenna. This is GSM1800, obviously. Now, I really am hoping this will pick up service. It should say 1-to-1 because the Orange cell towers no longer exist. There we go. It's got the little triangle which says it's roaming. Now, of course, this is an Orange SIM and an Orange phone, so it thinks it's roaming, but it's not, because Mercury 1-to-1 joined and merged with Orange, so they kind of form one network. But this is old school, and the phone hasn't been told otherwise. So that's why the triangle is there. So looking through the menu, then I used to love this phone. In fact, if I could get a working SIM that I could carry around, I would still use this. But unfortunately, those days are numbered, because the SIM cards in these phones use are really old. They're 5 volt and 3 volt 16K SIM cards, and there's not many of these around. So the menu on this was real neat. This was a real step up in terms of, well, the 2100 series phone, as a general rule of thumb, was a real step up from the 2010, which I also have. This is a 2010. I will do a video about this as well. This is GSM900, and this was Nokia's very first, or one of the very first offerings that they did for GSM900. This is significantly larger than a 2100 series phone, and it's a lot thicker as well. So I will do a video about this at a later stage though. So let's go through the menu, which is significantly improved to the 2010, like I just showed you. This is a 2140. So you got messages, call, answer phone, read messages, write messages. What else? You got phone settings. You got show own number, restore factory settings, menu, display standard. You can put that to advanced, and that will give you some more options in there. So what else we got? So we got show a number, any key answer, lights, ringing pattern. Oh, I remember these. It just had 5. and this is the classic Nokia ringtone. You guys obviously know it, and this is the phone that made that ringtone. This is one of the first. I'm not even sure if the 2010 has this ringtone. I think it does, but certainly this and the 2110. So the 2140, the 2110, and the 2010, which I just showed you, the bigger one, all had this ringtone, and that's where the ringtone for Nokia, the classic ringtone, stems from. But what else you got? And that's it. You just got a choice of 5. I thought actually it was 7. I seem to recall it was 7. Maybe actually I'm thinking of this one, but certainly 5 is really not a lot. And you couldn't actually add any more to this as well. So let's have a look, see what else you got. Warning tones, keypad levels, and that's it actually. We've gone right through. So controls on phone usage. Now you might laugh at this, but this was state of the art back then. So you got restricted dialing. That's if you want to program up the phone to only allow certain numbers to be dialed. So call barring, that's obviously to stop calls being placed, full stop. Change access codes, this is where you changed all your... Oh, it didn't like that. What the heck happened there? I'm not too sure what that was about. Okay, well, let's just continue then. Controls on phone usage. So what else we got? We got change access codes, change phone key code. That would be the lock code of this phone. Change SIM card pin, self-explanatory really. Pin 2, change network password. That was the password which allowed you to bar calls. This is kind of obsolete technology really. Nobody uses this function anymore, but it was part of the GSM standard feature set, and it was just included. And change foreign key again. We've gone through a lot really. What else we got? SIM card pin code disabled. This was where you would obviously enable the SIM pin code. Automatic phone lock. That's where you lock the phone, not the SIM. And you could have one running as well as the other, independently of each other. So the phone lock code was real neat because if you activated it, you couldn't place outbound calls, but you could still receive calls, and you could answer the calls even if the phone was locked, which was actually a really good improvement. Oh, this thing's really not happy. What's going on? It doesn't like this SIM card. That's really strange. Yeah, because some of the Motorola SIMs, it doesn't like this at all, does it? Let me just reboot this. Some of the Motorola phones, when you put the phone lock on and you had an incoming call, someone's calling you, you had to unlock the phone first before you could actually accept the call and answer it. And that was fiddly to do, and it was a real pain in the ass. So, oh, it doesn't like the SIM card. What the heck is going on here? That's strange. That's real strange. Have I done something wrong? What the heck is going on here? Oh, it doesn't like that. Okay, well, maybe that might be the end of the video then. If I've damaged the SIM. How strange. Okay, well, that's all I can say about this phone. These real basic phones, but the problem is getting the SIM cards that work in these phones. Like I said, to get these to work is a real mission. So, but I would get service on these because I used to love this. This was my first. I think it was one of my first GSM1800 phones. Certainly the first Orange phone I bought was this, because at the time in 1994 they only had this and the MR1, not the 601, the MR1, which I also did a video about. Check that out. So anyway, that's all I'm going to say about this particular one, because this is quite a long video already. Check out some of the other videos I've got on here, and give me a thumbs up if you like the fun of the video. And if you haven't subscribed, hit that subscribe button. So thanks for watching.